Mtazamaji, karibu tena. Asante sana kwa kuendelea kuwa nasi. Tuendelee na taarifa zetu hapa ambazo tunazifuatilia katika chumba chetu cha habari, na moja kwa moja tunaelekea katika eneo la KICC, katika jumba la KICC ambapo wananchi hii leo wanapata fursa ya kutoa maoni yao kuhusu ari ya serikali ya Kenya ya kuuza hisa zake katika kampuni ya mawasiliano ya Safaricom. Kampuni ya Vodacom ya Afrika Kusini imeonyesha matamanio ya kununua hisa hizo, lakini baadhi ya wananchi wakiwemo viongozi wametilia shaka pendekezo la serikali na kutaka kuuza asilimia 15 za hisa zenye thamani ya takriban shilingi bilioni 250. Kikao hicho kinaendelea hivi sasa. Hebu tusikize.
Why do teachers, kwa nini walimu wanaitisha wanafunzi desk kuingia grade 10 na yule ambaye anatoka form 4 hatoki na desk? And you must call out these schools, you know. Na hiyo ni mambo ambayo inaulizwa hapa. Yule ambaye alitoka form 4 hakutoka na desk. So yule ambaye anaingia grade 10 asiambiwe ingie na desk. Unless yule mwenye alitoka form 4 alitoka na haya.
Asante sana.
Na school bus. Imekuwa biashara. Haya.
Mimi ni president wa Uganda na nawakilisha maeneo bunge manne: Embakasi East, Embakasi Central, Embakasi South, Embakasi North, Embakasi West. Mheshimiwa Kimani, mambo kuhusu hisa ya Safaricom, mimi kama ambaye nawakilisha bunge la Mheshimiwa, tunakataa, na sababu hii ambayo inafanya kwamba tunakataa. Number 1, juzi tulipoteza zaidi ya bilioni 62 kwa National Youth Service. Pili, Mheshimiwa Kimani, tulipoteza tena 11 billion through SHA, yenye hatuwezi kubali kudanganya kuuza kampuni zetu na watu wachache wanakaa kwa fulani wanakula mali ya wananchi. Tatu, namna zinajengwa kinjia ya kiduni, ya kwamba lami inawekwa nusu inchi kisha kandarasi anachukua pesa anaenda nazo barabara, baada ya wiki moja inabomoka. Sisi tunasema hivi kama bunge la wananchi, ya kwamba mambo ya kuuza hisa ya Safaricom, kama mnataka kuuza, kwanza mtengeneze sheria, kwa sababu mtuambia kwamba mnataka mkwanza tuuze ndio mtutengenezee sheria yetu. Huwezi kubali. Mtengeneze sheria kwanza ndio mrudi kwetu kama wananchi, kwa sababu mnataka kuuza ndio mkule, ndio tuambia kwamba mtaweka sheria. Tumeona kwamba baada ya finance bill mlifanya jinsi mnatakavyo. Hiyo tumekataa kama wananchi. Ya mwisho, Mheshimiwa Kimani, iwapo mnataka kuuza hisa ya Safaricom, tunataka kitu ambacho kinajulikana free medical and quality medical. Hapo ndio tunatuumiza kama wananchi. Ya pili, tunataka free education. Free tunamaanisha free and quality education, bora elimu. Tunataka elimu bora ambao walimu wako ndani, equipment wako ndani. Hii mambo ya kona hatuna haja na barabara. Hii mambo kutoka mnataka kujenga barabara, pesa zetu mnakula hapa kwa barabara, kwa sababu many MPs ndio wakandarasi wao wanapewa tenda. So sisi kama bunge la wananchi tunasema kwamba tumekataa mambo ya kuuza kampuni yetu share baadhi ambayo tunamiliki. Ya mwisho, hii mambo tukiuza, sisi kama maskini tumezoea kununua minute. Najua kwamba nikimiliki kampuni mimi ndaweka vigezo ya kufanya hiyo kazi. For example, tulipeana Sony, Zoya, Mumias. Sasa hivi wafanyakazi ambao tulipewa hakikisha kwamba hawatatimuliwa kazini, wametimuliwa na hawajalipwa. So wale ambao wanafanya kwa Safaricom, Vodacom wakishanunuliwa, so watatimuliwa na wajiri watu wao. Tumekataa, Mheshimiwa Kimani, hiyo msijaribu kupitisha kwenye parliament. Sisi kama wananchi hatuwezi, inji ni yetu, kwa sababu sisi ndio government. Ukiuliza who's government, si mwananchi. Ushuru yote inaturundukiwa, wanachukua na kako wanafulani wanakula, ndio watuletee mzigo. Hii raundi ya mkuu. Na kama nataka kukula, mlete free medical and quality medical. So mchukue ile 62 billion ambayo imeibiwa kwa National Youth Service, mjenge naye barabara. 11 billion ambayo imeibiwa kwa SHA, mchukue mjenge naye barabara. Hapo ndio nimesimamishia.
Asante. Tulikuwa na sheria ya mambo ya hapana, tumewapea bunge la wananchi, sasa unavunja sheria. Tukuje hapa nyuma. Tukuje hapa tu.
Tuseme kitu moja.
Haya, sawa, chukua. That's fine, go on. Endelea.
Mheshimiwa Mwenyekiti, Mimi yangu nilikuwa na maswali kidogo.
Uliza.
Maswali kwanza yangu mimi ninauliza hivi. Hapa kwa shareholders wa Safaricom ni watu watatu. Mtu wa kwanza ni serikali ya Kenya. Mtu wa pili ni Vodacom. Alafu mtu wa tatu ni public sector. Mimi swali yangu ninauliza, hii serikali ya Kenya iwapo itauza shares zao, kitu ya kwanza kusema ukweli, ikiuza shares zao itakuwa imepunguza nafasi ya kupiga kura kwa board members. Kwa hivyo uamuzi ya board members kama serikali ya Kenya itakuwa imepunguka kabisa. Kama board watakuwa wameamua kitu yote wataamua, kura ya serikali ya Kenya itakuwa ndogo. Na kusema ukweli, Safaricom imeajiri ama imetoa nafasi za ajiri zaidi ya 1.2 milioni. Iwapo tutakosa sauti kwa board members, ni kumaanisha hao wenye watakuwa wanataka utetezi kwao kwa board members ambao ni wanatafuta nafasi ya uajiri hawatapata. Na tukikosa hiyo sauti, hao wenye wana nafasi ya uajiri, kuna uwezekano mwenye atakuwa na umiliki ya kuwa na nafasi kubwa ya kupiga kura kwa board members huenda akaangusha nafasi ya waajiriwa ambao ni wa Kenya. Tutabidi tu export laborers wenye tunatafuta vijana wetu kwenda kuajiriwa ng'ambo na wanaweza kajiajiri hapa. Asante.
Get me the clause ya the board members as per the question paper. Nitakujibu hiyo swali na that's a good question. Haya, tukuje hapa. The lady inspects here, and then we take someone else at the corner, then we go to the other one.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie and I am a student from Cooperative University. Okay, I'm going to be brief. So what I have to say is, Safaricom is like the pride of Kenya. According to me, I've grown up knowing Safaricom, seeing their ads, and I would say it would be such a shame that Safaricom is the pride of Kenya, yet the government of Kenya is like owning 20% of the shares of Safaricom. Nona, it's, I don't know, explaining to someone that this is a Kenyan thing and then just telling them that we own 20% of it doesn't really add up and doesn't really make sense. Okay, again, people have been saying the shares should be sold to the public, and you've not been understanding, and that's why I raised my hand. So public shares, Sasa, it's 25% currently. So what we are saying is the 15% that the government wants to sell, why doesn't the government just sell it to the, I know hata kuna mtu anaweza kuwa amekaa hapa that would maybe want to buy part of the shares. Maybe there's a Kenyan company, there's a Kenyan organization that is interested in Safaricom. The people are trying to say that don't say it as public shareholders. No, we are not talking about that. We are talking about having organization or other members of the public. They are rich people in Kenya. Si kila mtu Kenya ni maskini. So there are people who can buy these shares. So that's what we are saying when we say we are talking about public shareholders. So try selling the 15% to Kenya if it is that necessary to sell it. But I don't see the necessity where we have to sell, the government has to share their Safaricom shares. Also, I'm seeing the media here and I just want to challenge you guys. Keep this discussion going. We can hold talks. You can invite part of the public, maybe 2 to 3 people here. You can invite them, interviews, and have the conversation going, because we need to understand what more people think about this, because maybe there are people who have more intel to give, but they're just at work because no one any weekday. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Nirudie. Mtu unajua kuna mwenye ataongea ndio apigiwe makofi na mwingine ataogopa kusema Kenyatta kusema ndio kuwe booed. So we agreed no cheering so that everyone feels that they have the right to say their views. Kwa sababu kila mtu kuna haki ya kusema, but you raise very key concerns. Ndugu kuja hapa alafu tuende kwa the next row.
Yeah, mjamboni wa Kenya. Kwa majina naitwa Reverend John Jue, na tunashukuru kwamba tumepewa this chance ya kwamba tuongee tukiwa wa Kenya. Langu ni concern mheshimiwa kwamba kutoka serikali ya kwanza mpaka ya leo mwananchi wa kawaida is in captive. Na tunajiuliza as we progress selling our companies, And still we are telling the common Wananchi to continue paying. When will we come out of this captivity? Thank you.
I'm being accused of not giving backbenchers. So the last person on the bench is that one. Alafu sasa kuja hapa. Cooperative University, who raised the question about board members? So if you check the sessional paper, preservation of national interest, the government will retain a strategic stake representing 20% with the 2 seats on the board of Safaricom to safeguard national interest. So nafikiri bunge la Wananchi uliuliza kwamba kutakuwa na number of people at the board. So part of this sessional paper, part of the agreement, part of the proposed agreement is to make sure that 2 seats or 2 board members in Safaricom will remain to be Kenyan citizens. And the leadership, which means the CEO, will remain to be not just a Kenyan, but a Kenyan citizen. I wanted to answer that. And do paragraph 3 on the sessional paper. Proceed.
Thank you. My name is David Karani. First, I would like to thank the organizers for remembering our brothers who are deaf by having the sign language interpreters. Mine will be simple. Mine will just bring a new twist to this. Why don't we separate Safaricom voice and data with M-Pesa? And then now look at it from that angle. First, by separating. M-Pesa has a potential that actually it can be one of the biggest global platforms when it comes to payments. So before selling this thing, if you sell it even in future, let's separate. Let's not, and actually Safaricom is one of the things Kenyans are really proud about. It's our invention. So if you're going to sell this, let's separate first and then sell later. Mine is just that simple.
Thank you very much for your views. We start at the back here. Tuanzie hapa. Alafu tukuja hapa katikati. Katikati wako sawa. Tukuja hapa katikati. Alafu tukuje hapa mbele. Proceed.
Yes, good afternoon. Honorable members, Chairman, I salute you. My name is Eric Ambuche from Embakasi South. I'm also founder of an organization called Slums Outreach Program. I'll just go straight to the point. My opinion on the sale of 15% Safaricom share to Vodacom of South Africa. If there is a sale, it should be sold to Kenyans to make it 40%, so that we don't allow a foreigner to hold a majority. The moment they hold majority, we are done. Selling Safaricom shares to this foreigner is a story I've heard of selling a golden goose that lays golden eggs. I think that's what we are doing, Bwana Chairman. Without much ado, Honorable Chairman, you have talked of 29 billion, which we know that that's what remains for development. That's why we have to keep on borrowing. As an accredited voter education provider, I'll say this, that as per our constitution or the government we have in Kenya, there is overrepresentation. There is duplication. Number one, there is overrepresentation. Number two, there is duplication of duties. Then lastly, about 47 counties is a story for another day. And these are issues that we have been raising even to the IBC and those relevant authorities, that we need to do something about our constitution as far as corruption is concerned. Nikimalizia Bwana Chairman, mheshimiwa wangu ako hapa Madam Pasaris, kama mtaniruhusu sitasema hapa, but there's an emergency inquiry. There's an emergency inquiry, Madam Pasaris, mheshimiwa kama unasikiza, naweza isema kwa
enda umueleze pale. Haya, hapa katikati tumesema ni nani?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, members. My name is Kennedy Aloka from Ruaraka constituency. My take on this issue is that, first of all, I support this issue of selling 15% shares by the government. But if I look at this paper here, the government says the government intends to raise funds for building roads as one of the infrastructures. But my request is, if the government wants to build roads, let it not just be roads. Let the government look the major roads. Like, for example, we have the major roads in the county that connects the capital city to western part of Kenya and all along to Busia to foreign counties like Uganda, Burundi, and Rwanda. Let the government focus on that major road. Because in each and every festive season, you realize there is a lot of accident. Kwa sababu hiyo barabara iko na pana ndogo kabisa. Unaona? So accident is being we realize a lot of accident because the length of the width of the roads is not all that wide, and that's why we have a lot of accidents. So the government should focus on that road as a major road in the country.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Asante. You are being unfair to these others. This row you have had the largest number of questions. These ones deserve to be heard as well. Haya, pewe kijana alafu tumalizie na hawa wazee wawili hapa mbele. And maybe before you start, I was in Nyeri over Christmas. From Nyeri town to Nairobi here, 1.5 hours. Na hakuna traffic. Almost the same distance from here, Nairobi to go to Nakuru, 8 hours, 9 hours. So if these roads have to be done, they have to be done equitably so that we all enjoy the resources of this particular country. Proceed.
Okay, good afternoon. My question is more of clarification. It's about the shareholders. Because I think the bone of contention is the government of Kenya selling shares to Vodacom. We have public shareholders. And if I can remember, you said public shareholders. We also have foreigners as public shareholders. At what point did we categorize the shareholders as government of Kenya, Vodacom Group, and public shareholders? Why is it not Vodacom iko ndani ya public shareholders?
A quick answer is because Vodacom is one private entity. So the rest is you and I and other corporate trust funds and all those other investors. But Vodacom is one company called Vodacom. Next.
Abarieno. I think, Bwana Chairman, we are becoming unfair kwa serikali. Because tunataka tufanyiwe kazi lakini tunaona ubaya serikali kila mahali. Iwe ni kwa hii. Na watu wana confusion kidogo kwa sababu wanasema Safaricom inauzwa maana ni shares. Sasa wanachanganyikiwa hapo katikati. Sasa sijui kama ni Safaricom inauzwa ama ni shares inauzwa. Please.
And you know, you are spot on. People keep saying that Safaricom is being sold. That is not true. Safaricom will remain a Kenyan company. What is changing is the shareholding. Hawa walikuwa na 35, wakuwe na 20. Hawa walikuwa na 40, wakuwe na 55. The company remains a Kenyan company, remains to operate in Kenya, and M-Pesa remains, and everything remains as it is. In fact, were it not that Safaricom is partially owned by government of Kenya, in other running of companies, you will never know that there was a change in shareholding. I'll give you an example. One of the largest banks is Equity Bank. Sindio? Who do you know who owns Equity Bank and when they change hands? But the shareholding keeps changing. They sit down in the boardroom, they agree, I want to buy this company. Companies like Britam, the insurance companies, all these companies, the shareholding keeps changing. The only reason why you are involved in this discussion is because it is shares that is owned by your government. And as a taxpayer, and as the constitution states you must be consulted. But if it was another private company, you would even never know that the shareholding changed hands.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, through the chair, Mheshimiwa Kimani, and Mheshimiwa Esther Paris, and Wananchi, how are you? So, my name is Dongo Meri, and I come from Murang'a County, Igumo constituency. I'm a university graduate student on matters economics, finance, and accounting. So I was very happy to see some of the formulas I have seen there, which were projected there. And for me, I want to say this, because we also come from different walks of life. And as a professional in matters economics, finance, and accounting, I think we also need to be fair with the academic. Because some of these figures, because I've seen the figures which has been projected there, I think we need to take a lot of lesson, because those figures, they mean a lot. And some of these things you see here, because they're academic, sometimes if we do not go and interrogate those figures, you might get up asking questions, and it's good to ask questions. I'm happy there was a question which was asked there by my brother there about if we are getting 40 billion today, and Mheshimiwa Kimani, I would like you to hear this, because I want to add you another formula there. There is a question which was asked there by my brother there, that if we are getting 40 billion, and then we pay 55 billion in the next 6 years. And when you see even Mheshimiwa had done a very good job there, before I give you the two formula I had come to add you. Okay. I have just come up with another formula there that you can help. You can go even back to that slide.
Let's hear this body of knowledge.
So, yeah, you can go back there. And I wanted to just inform my brother there and the people who are hearing here, including the government and the president, to know that if that is the case, this is the question. If you say that we do not want to get that money from Vodacom, for example, 40 billion, then you have seen the government is left with 29 billion. So what you are saying, now we don't take that, and you have seen you have been calculated that the rate is 5.6%. So if we do not take that, what you are saying, the government has no tax. You have seen what we had there, and the only thing government can do is to go and borrow. If you go and borrow, you have seen the sovereign yield 3%. So you just need to get your calculation, and then you say, yes, you are saying don't give us this 40 billion for 6 years. Then we go and borrow. Where are you going to borrow? And you cannot get a place to borrow at 5.6%. So if you put another formula there, Mheshimiwa Kimani, I want you to add that formula. I've even done it here. It is you go, you can even see, I've done it here. You can now even reverse that and say the future value of that 40 billion. It will be the future value equals to PV, present value, into bracket 1 plus R over M, into bracket you raise to power 6, then you get 40 billion, you multiply by that 1.113 to bracket 6 to power 6, that will be 76 billion, and then you raise 55 billion, then the government will earn the amount of money equal to what is left to 21 billion, which is what we are left with there in our national ordinary tax revenue. So some of these figures, it is good that even if you are talking, it's good. This is public participation, and it is good. But you only need to get professionals who will tell you if you are not going to borrow, then they are going to add 21 billion. That is what Mheshimiwa forgot to tell you. That if you are not going to get that, then you'll be taxed yourself to add to another, either a bank or to World Bank or to IMF or to whoever you go and borrow from. But let me go to my point, because that was just, by the way, I have just noted that was important. So let me now, Mheshimiwa, request to you that I wanted to add you another formula of because why I'm going direct to this, I don't want to talk about so much because we want to talk about figures, economics, finance, and accounting. And because there have been a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and lies by some people, some leaders, they tell you about the Berkshire Hathaway shares, Google shares, Nvidia shares. And some of these companies, when you compare them, surely. We want to hear somebody talking about people from Nyandarua who have carrots, who have potatoes, which are not able to be preserved, either by putting coolers there. And some of these people have been having a position in government. So what you do, you don't come to tell us about the Google shares, owned by Larry Page, and Nvidia, owned by Jason Wang, and you tell us about Facebook, owned by Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk, who owned Elon Musk, who is the richest man in the world, worth $470 billion US dollars today as we are speaking. That's an equivalent of 95 trillion Kenya shillings. Just one man, 95 trillion. Meaning that man called Elon Musk, who is 53 years old. Today, our national revenue is 2.2 trillion per year. If we have to get the net value of Elon Musk, the whole country, 55 million people, we are going to take how many years? That is 90 divided by 2. That is 46 years. So let me ask my question. Now let me go on to the Safaricom question. Summarize. Now let me summarize and say this. For me, I will say this. When I have done all my calculations, because I have done my calculations academically on how we do the valuation of a company, including the one which were there. I want to add one formula to Mochimua, which we use DSF, and that is my contribution. That for me, there is a formula that we can get the value of these shares. And the formula that I want to use.
So what you do, give us the formula, and then we'll project it there. Because about Okisoma, they will not be able to follow. But you've done your research, which is very, very good. So give me
just 1 minute, I know the finish.
1 minute.
And I'm done.
So I don't think are not interesting.
The DCF, the discounted cash flows, we get it by summation of FCFF. That is the free cash flow of farm. You divide by 1 plus WACC. You bracket to the power of T. That is the weighted average cost of capital. You add FCFF. You divide by WACC at n plus 1 minus G at n plus 1. You divide by 1 plus WACC at n. And then you realize that when you do that, you'll be able to get money for our infrastructure funds, our national infrastructure fund, our sovereign wealth fund. We are going to get money to do all our infrastructure, including all those things you are asking, will be done through that capital seed that will go to the national infrastructure fund. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So give us the formula. Yes. Lastly here, unajua watu wakianza kusikia figures hamtaki, lakini hiyo ndio ukweli. Endelea.
I'm Samson Commander from Njiru Sub-County. First of all, I have to thank those people who prepared this motion. I have to support the selling of shares of Safaricom with the following reasons. In fact, first of all, before the government bought these shares, they had some agendas of buying those shares. And now, what you should know that what you have kept is what is supposed to assist you. For example, now we want to construct roads. What I could propose, my opinion is, let them identify those right people who can construct good roads, maybe putting water, electricity, and whatever, because of transparency. In fact, we have got some resources. Let's say we have got Turkana. We had that Turkana, there is we have oil there. if these shares are going to be converted of making good roads from here to Turkana, then we start getting those oil. That oil will assist us paying back the loan or assisting us do other projects. In fact, if we compare this, we want these shares to be sold. Let us get a very good example like the Thika Road Superhighway, Nairobi Express Road. If we are going to get those people who are going to make for us good roads like that, then there's no need of us complaining that shares should not be sold. So me, I support it, and I want whatever which is going to be put on the place, equate transparent, that we want really what these shares are going to do for us. I thank you very much.
Asante sana. Tuanzie sasa backbenchers hapa this time around. Tuanzie na kijana huyo kuna kofia hapo. Tukuja kwa mama hapa, tukiendelea hivyo mbele. Again, straight to the point.